Take control of your life. Break the chains and rise. No more feeling powerless. No more shame. Take your power. Break out of the pain. Because it's more than fornication. More than procreation. It's not just self-stimulation. Sex energy is for creation and transformation into a new destination. Porn Talk. Yeah. Change your heart from dark to light. Porn Talk. Yeah. Break free. Take back your power and rise. I said take back your power. I said take back your power. Take back your power and rise. And rise.
This is Porn Talk.
Welcome to Porn Talk. This is Powerful Eric. This show is not just about breaking addictions, it's about breaking belief systems. We are bound by self-imposed and societal chains. Break those rusty, heavy old chains and get empowered right now. And I'm here with the master, the metaphysical master himself, Sir William.
Thank you, sir. Good to be
And
here.
William, what is special about today? So as the number 6. It's season 6. He's looking at me like I'm have a third eye. This is season 6 of Porn Talk. Yes, we've made it this far. I know it's
And every year we say the same thing, like it's, oh my gosh, you've been doing this long.
Yep.
Yeah,
This
it's
is not 6
very impressive.
years. And today's topic is artificial intelligence again. But our segue to that is a phone call that I just got a few minutes ago.
Literally a few minutes ago.
Yes.
Perfect
And
timing.
my son, who is in the 3rd grade. This is the 3rd grade. Like 3rd grade. He got called to the principal's office because in the iPads that they distribute at the school that they give them, my son does not have an iPad. And the ones that they gave him at school, apparently it's unfiltered because,
Or at least the filter's not good enough.
he put in the search term fat mamas. And can you imagine what would come up with that search term?
Not just the Queen song.
Oh my God. So he actually came across this innocently, I understand, from my wife. He wasn't looking for anything like that. But this is how it happens, accidentally. So he goes, of course, then he shows his friends. And then teacher finds, called the office, the whole deal. Actually, after this recording, I'm going to go to the school. It's like 3rd grade. Yeah. William, what do you think? Like, this is just stupid. It's just dumb.
If I understand you correctly, what's dumb is the whole system and how easy it is to access it.
Well, the school,
That part too. It's their technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they gave him the iPad in really, there's no filter. Like I have here at the house, it's filtered at the router level. So even if you put it in, you couldn't. So, I'm shocked that they gotta I don't know. Maybe it was something that got around their filter. They've got to have a filter. But
I'm sure.
But these are new problems in the modern age, that your son's in the 3rd grade at school and pulls up fat mama's pictures. Just totally effed up. It really pisses me off, you know? And yeah, just got this effing call. And so my son, we started this years ago. If you've listened to this podcast, you've heard this many times. There's a book called Good Pictures, Bad Pictures. It's for kids, and it shows them what to do when they come across that. But now that I think of it, well, I don't know. I don't have the details yet. I don't
Mhm.
think it was actual porn, but it was like risky, very borderline
Mm.
from what I understand. And so, but the thing in the book that it teaches, like when you see porn, to turn away and to go tell an adult. But I don't know, like, but in his defense, it's been a while. It's actually been a long time since I've got that book out. Apparently, I need to get it out again. There's also an adult, a teenage version of the book called Good Pictures, Bad Pictures Junior. So definitely gonna be getting those books out again, and gonna talk to the school and what the hell is going on. And so I'm pissed off. I'm angry. And like, should I have to go to the school to your son put in the search term fat mamas in the search engine? You hear what I'm saying? Like, it's insanity. It's complete freaking insanity.
It's insanity, I say. Oh my God. What am I going to do? It's crazy. I don't know what to do.
William, help me with.
Help me. Help me.
So, anyway, William, what do you think about that situation at the school? Like this is the third grade. He's 8.
One consideration is, as you said, what he accessed. And okay, how about this? If I were you, my focus would be on that he searched it at all. You know, why did you search this term? What were you looking for? Exactly.
I can tell you this.
You weren't looking for how to help women with obesity.
He's really into farts.
Well, he's like 9 years old, right?
8.
8, yeah. So
he's really into farts. Yeah, he's really into farts. So God only knows what would come up with you to put in a search like that. But this is our segue to our topic for today, which is got one for that too.
Artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence and porn. I am a Cylon from the Storm show Battlestar Galactica. Do you remember that show? I am a Cylon from Battlestar Galactica. I am the artificial intelligence that will come suck your brain out of your head. Because what use do you have for it when you can rely on my intelligence?
You're acting really crazy today. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, it's all me.
Oh. No, but that is the subject. And oh boy, do I have some stuff for you today. Because last year, when we did this season opener for season 5, GPT was brand new. And I was like, oh, you put it in, it will tell you a story and all this stuff. Here's the latest on artificial intelligence and porn. So in that short time, actually less than a year, because we're actually recording this mid-December. But in less than a year, here's the developments that came along with porn. So now you have all your pictures of your family on your Facebook page, right? Show everyone so you can impress all your friends and show them how lovely and wonderful your life is. And so they can all envy you. And gosh, oh, I wish I could be like Eric. Look, he's got the family and he's got the kids. He must have it all going on. So I put up those pictures so people go, oh, he's so wonderful. And so when you put up those pictures of all your family and your kids, you know what pornographers can do now? They can take your picture off your Facebook page, take that image of your kid or you, yes, you that's watching this right now. You can take that image and download it in this software and put your face on any porn they want. So it will look like you are doing the thing, and it looks like you. It's going to look just like you. It looks just like you or your kids or whoever. And wait, it gets better. You can clone the person's voice, and it sound just like you, just like them. So if you posted some video or of course with audio with your family, and maybe one of your kids says something on the video, they can take that few seconds of audio, clone the voice, take the face, clone the face, and then what they do is they take existing porn, and it will perfectly seamlessly put the face on whoever. And and this is available today, right now. And then William was saying this has been around for a while, but like if you want to pretend to have a girlfriend, there's apps that now, these artificial intelligence apps, it'll create the image of this person, and you can have a sexual conversation with this person that does not exist. Like there's nobody there. So that's where we're at right now, William. Custom porn.
Yep.
And like I think how challenging it is for me as an adult. And like my son today at school, I think innocently, although fat mom is, it wasn't a nice thing to search for, but like I said, one of his favorite things is farts right now. So, like that's why I want to do. That's why I do this show, or one of the reasons why is because it's like, man, like the things that these kids are coming into now are so dramatically more powerful than what we grew up with. What do you think?
I think you're right. I think it's pretty much not even debatable.
Yeah.
And unless there's something I don't know about, you can't stop it.
That's right. The
cat's way out of the bag. So
the genie is out.
Yep,
the cat is out. It ain't going back in ever, ever, ever again.
And if you remember, like in our youth in the 80s, there was movies
that was a long time ago for you, by the way.
Yeah. What was that movie with Harrison Ford?
There's a lot of
where he hunts the replicas.
Indiana Jones?
No, he hunts the replicas, the fake people, and they just did a sequel to it recently.
Dune?
No, it's right there. It's like the second famous thing he did. Anyway, the name escapes me, but where he has to go to the people and test them to see if they're real or if they're robots. That's coming. And there's been many other, whether comedy or science fiction or whatever, where a person can have sex with a robot, basically.
Stepford Wives. There's a book movie called this. I believe it's called The Stepford Wives. And this guy goes in this town. He's like, man, all the women are so beautiful and they're so polite and kind, and they're all androids.
Whoa, yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. It's coming.
Yeah, and we talked about this in the opener last year too. That the movie Brainstorm. It's where you put this device on your head. It records your thoughts, feelings, emotions, everything, and then you can put that headset on someone else's head and play it back. And in the movie, the main character, Christopher Walken, plays someone did record sex, of course, and it was this whole big thing. So, yeah, I don't envy these kids growing up. They've got huge, huge hurdles to overcome. Now, on the other hand, artificial intelligence is going to have some amazing positive uh, repercussions as well. And I use artificial intelligence now, GPT all the time for various things. It's super helpful. So it's just like nuclear bombs, or nuclear energy. You can blow up a city with it, or you can
Power a city with it.
power a city with it. Exactly.
On a parallel note, you've been in this business helping people for,
I think I started in 2014. I could be wrong.
so
about
almost
that.
10 years. What have you learned about how people change their thinking? And I'm gonna wrap this together.
How people change their
Yes.
thinking.
What
Well,
does it take to change your literal thinking?
well, that's what I do. Like that's the
Right.
whole course.
Right.
I mean, that's it, because it can be really challenging if you're having an addiction to change your thinking.
Can you give an analogy? Like, is it learning how to play an instrument where you just repeat the same thing over and over and over until your brain remembers where to put your fingers, or shoot free throws?
Well, the way I do it, as opposed to most recovery programs, do not do it this way. That's why I went and created my own.
Right.
Is identity change. So hence Powerful Eric. Instead
Yes,
of
that's right.
instead of doing a slow progress to change, it's like, I'm no longer freaking powerless Eric. That I said, I go to the 12-step meeting. Hi, my name is Eric, and I am addicted to porn. I'm a sex and porn addict, and
I think that's important, because I think what you're telling us is the voice in your head. You see yourself as a victim. The voice is weak. So your own personal transformation, you're sharing with other people. All right, now take that idea of how to change your thinking and lay up next to it. You can't force a paradigm on somebody. I was just studying this recently, and they were talking about religion in this particular case. When you're like in St. Louis, born into a Catholic family, raised Catholic, and and what does it take to change that thinking? You can't force you can't force a paradigm on someone. It has to be from within. Another similar idea is in China. They built this utopia. That's what that was the original idea of this article and this interview, was utopia. And how come it doesn't work? Is because you can create the most perfect conditions and it doesn't work because people bring their crap with them, mental, emotional crap with them. And so knowing you can't force a way of thinking on someone, if you can accept that basic premise, you can't force a way of thinking, a paradigm on someone. Could you identify how it happens within a person? Like, for you had your own personal experience. I've had my own personal experiences that changed my paradigm. An easy example is, and I've said this story many, many times. Well, okay, that's a good point too. Like, I identify one of the big turning points. I read a book called The Tao of Pooh, where the author describes Taoism using Winnie the Pooh characters.
Oh, I was thinking of poop. I'm
All
like,
right, no,
the
no.
Tao of poo.
No. Winnie the Pooh. Silly. So, but to understand my experience reading that book, you'd really have to understand what I was like right before I read it. You know, it's like I was ripe. I wanted that change. So that leads me back to one thing you're experiencing, basic sales mentality. You know how they talk about your pain in sales? Like, how can I cure your pain? Oh, I can provide you this service or this thing that makes slicing vegetables easier. And when you whatever the everyday thing is. So I guess in your business, people come to you, they're already in pain, right?
Tremendous. pain.
Tremendous.
I'm like their last resort. They've been to the 12-step programs. They've been to the therapist. They're oftentimes they're about to get separated or about to get divorced. And they're like, this is like the last ditch. Like,
That's because the wife has said, look, this has to change. I'm out of here.
Precisely.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't have a long time to work with them. I mean, like, they're literally like living in the apartment. Like, my wife just kicked me out. I'm in the apartment. I got a short. And so that's, they go through the 12-week program, and like, how can you do dramatic things in 12 weeks? Because we go to the root, and like I said, instead of being powerless, he's addicted to the porn. That no, you just shatter that whole mentality of going to the 12-step meeting and saying, I'm a sexaholic. It's been 5 days since I've had my last slip. And so they identify with it, and so we just shatter that. It's like, yeah, you have a problem, but that doesn't mean you have to be the problem, and change the identity. And there's all kinds of things we do, cool, awesome, fun things that we do that can make rapid transformation happen. So, getting back to the artificial intelligence. So what would be the solution for, like, this is going to get more powerful. It's going to eventually just go straight into your brain. We know that. Elon Musk's already got Neuralink. So what do we do? Like, there'll be people that will go into that world and never come out. The metaverse will be a whole new different thing than what people like. You'll be able to literally, like, when it's connected into your brain, like, it will seem like you are a part of this world. This will be like the freaking Matrix, like literally like the Matrix.
That's just what I was thinking of. Okay. Some of us into metaphysics and stuff like that accept the basic premise that this life is temporary and part of a bigger thing. At the very least, right? The very, very foundation. So, in my view, we enter a physical lifetime to have experiences.
Yes.
And we get entrapped in the experience. This is also the basic tenet of Buddhism, Taoism, Hinduism. Okay. So you get entrapped in the experience, you get engrossed and then entrapped. And you keep coming back until you break out. What if the whole technology thing is basically another level of that lesson? And we as humanity need, I don't like that real, but like karmically, we have to go through this in order to escape it and to learn the lesson that karma brings to us.
Whoa, that's crazy. That's crazy. And
this is why I like talking to this guy. Brings that out of me.
Well, William knows this more than anyone. I I can definitively say for a fact that I know that this flesh form that we are in right now, this is just our meat suit. Like I know that for a fact because of that's how we met. Because I went through this, I had this paranormal experience, and it was actually it was insane. So I learned through that there is definitely another side. Like some people say they believe there's another side and they pray that there's another side. And I'm not saying this out of ego. I'm just saying I know definitively for a fact there is another side. Like no question. There is fact. So yes, it's like we are in this seemingly this virtual reality that our souls are in these meat suits, these temporary meat suits that we will drop and then go back to that other bigger reality, that bigger consciousness. And I like what you're saying, like with the metaverse and artificial intelligence, like we'll have the opportunity in our physical forms to go into that metaverse. And so there's all kinds of lessons to be learned there. And I don't know what those are, but ooh.
Was it? I can't remember if we talked about this on Porn Talk, but in a similar vein, with the seemingly inevitable global warming, climate change, and that we are literally killing the earth slowly. So Earth may not be around much longer that's livable for human beings. What if robots like cyber technology is the next step of evolution and humans become like cyborgs?
Yeah, well, the robots are really close. Like Tesla just released their latest version, not released it, but showed their latest version of the Tesla bot. And man, it moves really smooth. It was showing its fingers, like how I'm doing this now. It does it like that, and it was picking up an egg and all this, and then they drop in that artificial intelligence, and bam, you have yourself like a human being. And then, but you're talking a step further as a cyborg, and you could say, remember, well, I'm dating myself here, but the $6 Million Man,
Oh yeah,
Steve Austin.
Yeah.
That was one of my all-time favorite shows as a kid.
Here. Love that show.
They were going to do a remake of it with Chris Wahlberg. It was going to be called The $1 Billion Man a couple years ago, but I don't know if the funding fell through. Something stopped it from happening. I was, that would be so cool. They could do so many great things. But you could say Steve Austin really was a cyborg because he had the eye, the electronic eye.
And it was one
he had
arm and two legs or something.
Arm and the legs. And then his girlfriend, Lindsay Wagner, which, I had a big
childhood crush. Yeah.
I had a big crush on the Bionic Woman, Lindsay Wagner. And anyway, yeah, he was a cyborg, but you add the artificial intelligence stuff into it and connecting to the brain, and it gets all weird, and it's just, and they're talking about that soon, like this will be smarter than humans.
Oh yeah.
Like no question.
Just a matter of when.
Yeah. And one of the founders of AI said that he believes right now that it definitely can think. They say that it just predicts the next word, and his exact words were bullshit. I mean, yes, it does do that, but like you ask it things and it forms.
It has a coherent idea.
Yes, it forms coherent ideas. It's not just predicting the next word. Is what this founder of AI guy says. And he says he does believe, like people think that Chat GPT is conscious. He says, I don't believe it's conscious yet, but he said there will be a time that it will get to a point where it will be conscious. Like, yeah. So what's that mean for porn, sex, addiction? I don't know.
it's going to be easier and easier to get engrossed and entrapped in it.
Yeah. Well, you get in a metaverse with it. I tell you, I'm just being honest. Like that world, like thrown into that, like, where it connects into your brain actually, and you're in that world and I don't know if I'd be able to come out. And if I would come out, I'd be like, I got to do what I do, go to the bathroom, and I'm going right back in. It's just like the freaking Matrix, man. It's the freaking Matrix.
And remember, I'll call it the speech that Morpheus gives to Neo. Not everybody's ready. Not everybody wants a red pill. And in my business, in my life, what I do professionally, plus being a leader of Circle of Light, I encounter a lot of people who are passionate. I'm thinking of one person in particular I just met about a week ago, super passionate and worked up about sharing what she's learning with the world. And I'm just like, okay, be ready for lots and lots and lots of rejection. Be ready for lots of criticism. People tell you you're stupid, crazy, imaginative at best.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I'm not trying to poo-poo that. I'm not trying to say, I mean, if you're passionate, I believe people should live their passions. I think that's what life is all about. I mean, yes, live your passion. If you're passionate about something, do it. If you have, for instance, like Eric, a breakthrough in your own personal development, and you find a way, here's the technology, we're sitting surrounded by technology, a way to do it, absolutely, yes, do it. Because that not just makes you happy, it fulfills you. Would you use that word?
oh yeah.
It is fulfilling. That's how it is for my spiritual life. I can't imagine not doing it. But my point is that along with that comes a lot of criticism, rejection. People tell you you're crazy, this, that, and the other. So the mistake people make is to try to force it. You can't force a paradigm on someone.
Yeah.
You can't make them think that way.
And just like, and that's why with this program, like there was a controversial figure, I'm not going to say who she is, that I had on the podcast last year. And I was debating whether to have her on or not. And I had her on, and basically she created like kind of like women's porn, I guess you could kind of say, with non-sex trafficked people. It was like, you could say
I
like
remember this.
wholesome organic porn, like
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
you could say. And because I'm not trying to force my view on people, but obviously the people that are coming to this program are having some challenges with porn. It clearly causes a lot of challenges. I know, I speak to them every day of people that are getting divorced over it, or about to get divorced over it. So I kind of lost my track of thought on that, but
You brought this woman on the show
yeah,
talking about this controversial subject.
yeah. Just, I try to not just say, porn is the devil, like, but I meant to say this on the 100th episode, I was wearing an orange jersey. And I forgot to say that was not the football team with the orange and blue. I forget, but that was the Water Boy.
Yes.
That was the Water Boys jersey from the Mud Dogs, from the old, and Bobby Boucher. And Bobby Boucher's mama would always tell him, Bobby, foosball is the devil.
That's right. Foosball.
And so I'm not here to say, that porn is the devil. I'm just saying it negatively affects a lot, like millions of people. So also weird things, we were talking about this meat suit that we are temporarily in, and how we met was through that paranormal experience that I had. And I reached out to you and other people. And so I have decided that for season 7, the season 7 opener next year, that I'm going to come out about that paranormal experience, because it was a big deal for me to come out and talk about porn and being addicted to porn. Like I still remember the day in the office, or in your office, the church office. And I'm like, oh my God, you mean I got to go public with this? I'm like, no. But anyway, so I am next year, I'm gonna tell that paranormal story. It's unbelievable. Like, people will be like, this guy's trying to get podcast listeners, because clearly there's no way this story could be true.
Or, thrown in a loony bin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was. I was.
Sorry.
I was literally in the psych ward padded room.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the padded room. Although I went in there voluntarily. That's another story. But yeah, and that whole padded room thing was because of the paranormal thing. People think, like, oh. So
we have to wait a year.
You have to wait a year, because it's more sensitive to me than the porn stuff. Because
that's
the porn stuff, people are like, yeah, well, yeah, you're addicted to porn. I get that. Yeah. That happened. But the paranormal stuff, like, people like, he's been smoking a little of in addition to being, doing the porn, he's doing a little so yeah. So but next year I'm going to come out with the paranormal story, and most people won't believe it. It doesn't matter. It will be healing for me to tell the story.
Good job.
And I'm also not debating. I actually have the cover and all that for the book, but I don't know that I'm ever going to write it. It will be called paranormal porn, because let's just put it this way. When you are addicted to porn and you're dealing with, how do I say this? Like contacting spirits and that type of thing, you mix that together. It's not a good mix. Don't recommend it. Don't recommend it.
Not gonna do it.
So, and William knows a lot of that story. So yeah, you have something to look forward to, the next year's opener. Maybe I'll just call it paranormal porn. Well, how are we doing on time here, William? Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good on time. So one side tangent. I had a call from a famous person. And so here's the story. I have been a fan of this person since I was a teenager. And I actually I've seen him several times, and actually paid. I did his program. This is like 30 years old, this huge binder. Speaking for a Living with Les Brown. Most of you may not know who Les Brown is. In the personal development field, he is a legend. He's known as the motivator. And he's hilarious. I love Les Brown. And a friend of mine, more than that, Beth, I work with Beth. For those of you who know who Beth is, I work with Beth. And Beth went to a conference thing. Les Brown was there. And she knows I'm a huge fan. I've seen him many times, and I've done his week-long course, Speaking for a Living course and all that. But that was 25, 30 years ago. But anyway, she got an opportunity to actually just sit, talk with Les. And so she hands him her phone, and I got a freaking call from Les Brown. Now, unfortunately, I didn't pick it up. So I have a voicemail, and on the edited version here, I'll play the edited, because it's not going to come through here well now, but I'll play the message from Les, and it was freaking awesome. To get a call from your hero, like Les is my hero, and he called me. It was awesome. It's kind of like who calling you? William?
Well, that's why when Eric played the voicemail, I was like, that'd be like if John Edward called me, my hero.
And for those that don't know who John Edwards
is a world famous psychic medium. He started out on. He started out on Oprah of like 30 something years ago.
That psychic stuff is the devil.
Obviously.
I don't know if we've talked about this on here before, but I find it funny. I was raised Catholic, and I actually know a psychic priest, but he cannot call himself psychic.
That's right.
He has the gift of discernment.
Somebody close to me worked at the St. Louis Cathedral. And when she was working there, they had these paranormal experiences, and they called in a medium to come check it out.
Whoa. Hold up. The Catholic Church called in a medium to the cathedral?
And it was the spirit of a priest who used to live there and had died.
Wow. That is cool. That is cool.
Yep.
So cool. And I'm pleasantly surprised that they were open to do that.
I was stunned when I heard that story. And that's only a first degree story. My person very close to me was there.
So cool. I know who this mystery person is.
I know you do. And if you're into the psychic community and I told you the woman's name who was there, you would know it. It's not somebody you know personally,
right?
But
very, very
locally famous. Yeah.
Very cool. Very
and
cool.
I can't remember if she professionally calls herself a medium, but that's what she does.
Yeah. So, but anyway, John Edwards is
would be
like
if you got this voicemail.
If John Edwards called you or left you a voicemail, you'd be like, "Oh my God!" That's how I was. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. And what's really cool, William, is I feel like I've come full circle. So, what Les says in the voicemail is, it's been 20 years since we spoke. And actually, I looked it up. It's been 29 years since I went to his I don't know, one of his programs. It was like 29 years. And I had him sign my book that he wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called Live Your Dreams. It's a great book. It's an old book by Les Brown called Live Your Dreams. And I had him sign it. And I looked, and it says, "To Eric the One." And way back then, I remember him talking about, "I'm going to be talking to somebody, and you're in this audience right now, and this message is going to have a profound impact on you, and you're going to do these great things," or whatever. And you're the one. And so when I went up to him and just have him sign the book, I whispered to him, "I'm the one." And he signed the book, "To Eric the One."
Awesome.
And I feel like I've come full circle, because porn derailed me from that whole path. Like I was on.
That's the big story. That's right.
Yeah. I was on that path. I picked up Brian Tracy. For those of you who don't know, who Brian Tracy is also huge in personal development. I picked him up from the airport and went in a limousine with him and other. It was like, when I think back, just surreal. In fact, I've got the picture right here. Here's a picture of me with Brian Tracy I'm gonna have to put this up. This is not going to show well, but that's Brian Tracy there. Me.
Oh, I remember this picture.
And I'll put it up. We went to this the only time in my life where I went to a place where there's a restaurant where there was a line of maitre d's all standing there like soldiers. Yeah. And I don't care to go back to that, though. That's not my thing, but it was kind of cool to do for once.
Oh, yeah.
And anyway, I was on this path, and porn derailed it. Like, yeah, it totally derailed me. Like, who wants to hear what a broke porn addict has to say, you know? And but that message from Les Brown, it's like full. It's like when I play the message for you, like he says in the message, sometimes you have to go way like off your path to find your path. Is kind of what he says in the voicemail. He talks about some play called The Zoo Story, which I'm not familiar with. So it's a play called The Zoo Story, where this character, in order to find his true calling or his true path or his power, had to go way off to come back to where he was. And that's where I feel like I'm at now, is like, I went so off the path, you know. I think of, I was literally digging ditches, you know, and shoveling rock. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And by the way, I had some tremendous satisfaction from shoveling that rock. And I was, at the time, I was in good shape. But anyway, that voicemail from Les Brown, it's just coming full circle. Like, I've had to go way off the path to and be in pure, just living hell created by myself, to find my way back, to be able to help people. Because if I didn't go through all those experiences, I honestly believe I wouldn't be able to help people as well as I do, because when they're talking to me, I can totally relate to what they're saying.
Welcome to life. I believe that is each individual's purpose. Just like I was talking earlier about Neo and the Matrix and entrapment and engrossment and all that. Again, I don't like the word need or have to, but on soul level, you kind of have to. And if you haven't gotten it yet, you have to do that over and over and over till you get it. There will be distractions. And if you look at all the mythology, Hercules, Odysseus, all these things, they all have that in common. There's all these distractions, or like the 12 trials of Hercules. In the Bible, there's different characters that represent different challenges. The one my dad always had to quote was Job. Whenever you told him life was difficult, it's like, well, look at Job. But my point is that that's universal. And what we tend to do, because we like being here, is we avoid it.
Yes, we avoid it. And how do we avoid it? Addictions.
Yep.
Food, porn, drugs,
Porn. Shopping. Porn.
Yeah.
Other stuff. Porn.
But what you're talking about is the hero's journey, right?
That is exactly what I'm talking about.
And what's the famous guy that wrote the
Joseph
book?
Campbell.
Joseph Campbell.
Yes.
The Star Wars.
Heroes of a Thousand Faces. He wrote something in the it's the something in the journey. Anyway, yeah. He has several books that are absolutely fantastic.
Star Wars was written based on Joseph
Star
Campbell's.
Wars and lots of other stories.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The two modern ones I like to refer to are Star Wars and Harry Potter. Because
Harry Potter.
They're both orphaned boys raised by an uncle or an aunt and have troubled childhoods because of that. And that's just the beginning of the journey of the hero. There's all these elements that are part of that journey. And there has to be, like, karmically or whatever context you want to use, there has to be a going away and coming back.
Wow. That's why I love William. I love talking to this man. He's a wealth of wisdom oozes from his pores. Oozes. Yeah. that hero's journey and those stories, and like you say, you have to go into the cave, or you have to have
Yes.
that.
That's what the allegory of the cave. Yep.
And as an adult now, I see Darth Vader or Luke going into the cave. I mean, it's all
there.
It's all there. It is so cool. It's so cool. And I am not in any way, shape, or form saying that I'm any hero or guru, nor do I want to be a hero or a guru. But I did have to go on that, or I'm still on that path. I was going that one direction, got diverted off into the cave and all that, and I'm coming back around. But I really feel like I am on the path now. So
Back to the Matrix. At the climax of the movie, right when Neo has his breakthrough, and because this is also part of the journey of the hero, you have to face your fear. Like Luke has to face his father, Neo has to face Agent Smith, and Agent Smith has Neo on the subway tracks, and he says, "The sound that you hear is a sound of inevitability," and he goes, "My name is Neo," and that's where he punches him into the ceiling.
Mhm.
All right, we talked about a minute ago. Change of identity. The whole purpose of the journey of the hero is to find out who you really are.
Who are you? Who? William and I actually saw the Who in
We
person
did.
together. You got
Yep.
you got tickets, right?
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah.
My mom, my son, and Eric. 4 of us. We had a 4-pack of tickets.
Yes.
It was a complete blast. It was so good.
It was. The Who. Who are you? Listener listening now or watching now, who are you?
And that's something else many other thoughtful people have said. The greatest question anyone can ask is, who am I?
And I would invite you to think that you're much bigger than you think you are.
Huge.
Because you're not just this, as would Yoda say, you're not this crude. You're not just this,
Not this
crude
crude matter.
Matter? That's it.
Crude matter.
Where are we at here? We got a few more minutes. So, the whole that whole paranormal experience that I talked about briefly. I learned that I'm not just this crude flesh, and then started to discover who I am as a person. That's the journey that I take my clients on. Is this journey, and it's really awesome when we get to the point of like building the new them. It's really awesome and fun. And I just had a client the other day who went through my program, and then there's also a maintenance program, and like he was actually kicked out of his church. Not only he was kicked out of his house by his wife, and he was even kicked out of his church. And he texted me. He's like, and he'd been doing really, really great. And he's like, I don't know that I need to do the maintenance program anymore. I'm reinstalled back in the church. I'm like, dude, congratulations. Feels really good. Like, his marriage was over, so he thought.
Yeah.
And he thought the church thing, like he was out of that forever. And it's really awesome to be able to touch another person's soul. I really feel like sexual issues, sexual matters go to the heart of a human being. And I know the work that you do is the same, because I use your services. That you get to do the same thing in a different way.
I do.
To touch people's souls. And even the one thing that William does is that actually reaches out to souls that have been departed as well. This man is,
It's truly fulfilling.
yeah. Do you ever have any clients come to you with sexual?
Here's probably the most dramatic one. This woman said that she had sex with demons at night.
Ugh, God.
So, just like you,
The succubus.
well,
The
something we have in
succubus.
common is no judgment, right? A
Yeah.
guy comes to you and says, I do this 10 times a day. You're like, okay, do you want to change it? Right?
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah.
So that's my first question is, okay, that's interesting. And is this bothering you? Do you not like it? And she basically said, yeah, I was being raped in my
Ugh.
sleep.
God.
And so I'm asking some questions before I even get into the whole deep part, like I call it. I'm asking some practical questions, and I found out that she watches horror movies all the time.
Oh, geez.
I know. Like, you didn't put these things together. And I'm not saying so a person listening might say, well, William, are you just saying it's just her imagination? No. What I'm saying is it's a setup.
Feeding it.
Yes. You're setting yourself up for this. You didn't think like watching these would set up the conditions for this, put you in that mental state?
Yeah. I hear exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
A teacher that both William and I share, spiritual teacher, she said that she didn't watch horror movies.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was a change for me. I almost never watch horror movies anymore. Like almost never. And especially with the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're feeding your mind, just like porn. You're feeding your mind this garbage. Oops. Not me. Not it. We're coming close to the end. So, yeah, you're feeding your mind that all those dark images and garbage in, garbage out, right?
Exactly. If someone didn't really understand this, I would use this example to help them understand. And that is, do you show your child porn? Like,
course
well,
not.
no, that's horrible. Then why do you let your 5-year-old watch Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah.
Because, especially for children, think of it this way: you are forming their mental vocabulary. I could go way off into the spiritual communication part of this about symbolism and all that. But as far as what we're talking about, like human development, that's exactly how I would think of it. Like, I am helping that child form his mental vocabulary. So what words do I want him to be able to choose from when he forms a sentence?
Yeah.
What images do I want him to be able to choose from when he forms a thought? You might
Yeah.
say.
What are you feeding that child? Just like this woman is feeding herself all these horror movies, and then she's having sex with demons. It's the same thing. You're feeding your mind all this porn. I mean, garbage in, garbage out. There's a lot of people out there, and they can watch all the porn they want, but they're deceiving themselves if they think that is not affecting their life.
I agree. To clarify, it's like, even if I said, well, I'm not addicted, it still affects you.
Yeah. And here is a really weird meta thing that our same spiritual teacher, I'll just say, Deborah Bourbon.
Yeah.
She's deceased, but she's the one that turned me on to the work of Dr. Emoto.
Oh,
And Dr. Emoto studied water crystal or water that was exposed to different stimuli, like bad stimuli, good stimuli, and then would look at the water crystals under a microscope, and basically the ones that were exposed to negative stimuli for example, like death rock, like like death rock would make these really contorted crystals,
kind of amoeba like, not symmetrical.
yeah, and then it would expose it to like a baby laughing or something like
Mhm.
that, and it would make these beautiful crystals.
Looked like snowflakes in a microscope.
And this is a subject for another podcast, but
Mhm.
I actually did this experiment that Dr. Emoto suggested with rice, exposing, rice, you put water in and expose one to good stimuli, one to bad stimuli. I did it 5 times. It worked every time. It blew my mind.
I saw it, firsthand witness.
Did I show you that? I showed,
You brought the actual containers in.
yeah. I finally threw, well, that's a subject for another another podcast, but it's amazing. Like, our thoughts are powerful, our words are powerful, and when you're taking in porn, whether you're addicted to it or not, it's affecting you on a cellular and spiritual level.
If I may use your word power, it disempowers you.
Ooh. Oh, gold, William, gold. Yes. Yeah.
You're
It
giving
is.
away your power.
Yeah. It disempower. You're absolutely right. In fact, have you ever talked to one of your friends and just said, "Oh man, William, last night I got out porn and I just whacked it. I whacked it for hours and I just feel so great now. I feel so great. I whacked it to this most extreme porn that I could find, and I just feel so empowered. I feel so good about myself. I want to go and conquer the world."
No, I don't believe I've ever had that
No,
conversation.
of course not, because it's exactly what you said. You're disempowered. So
Yeah, we got to do this again.
yeah, we do. We do. We need to wrap up here. So
Yeah. We need to do a whole episode just on like self-empowerment.
yeah, we will do that. So anyway, thank you for joining us today. If someone wants to reach out to the metaphysical master himself, Sir William of Duffin, Happy Medium Will, how do they do this?
314-403-4744. Text, call, email is william@mediumwill.com. On Facebook, I am Happy Medium Will.
And I know you were building that website. Is that live yet?
I got to check.
That's it.
But mediumwill.com is the website to look for.
Because I went on there the other day, it was not.
Yeah, I need to get on them again.
It was not
because I
active.
am paying a bill for that.
It was not active. So
Yeah.
so who gives their phone number? This man is giving you his phone number. This man of such wisdom, the Duffin himself, Sir William. So anyway, also, if you feel that you have some challenges with, do you remember the movie 16 Candles? You know what I'm talking about?
Mall, yeah.
What was the redheaded young kid in it?
The boy?
Yeah. Anyway, and there's an Asian guy in there, and he say, "Oh no, no more Yankee ma wanky. Dongo need food." Do you remember that?
Not really.
Well, anyway, if you have trouble with yanking the wanky, and Dongo need food, you have 16 Candles. Great movie. That's the 80s. That was the Breakfast Club, all that, if you remember that era.
Gosh, Grandpa, tell us another story.
Oh no, no more Yankee my wanky. Dongo need food.
So if you feel like you need some food and you want to take a breather from the porn, reach out to me. Seriously, go to powerfuleric.com and request a meeting with me. I'd be happy to hear what's troubling you. And if I can help you, great. If I can't, I probably can send you to someone that can. So that is it for today with the artificial intelligence and the metaverse and the spiritual verse. I think we totally slayed it today. Gotta say, slayed it. So, any final words, Sir William?
No.
Very good. So, anyway, thanks for joining us. And I'll leave you, of course, with I love Zig, his quote: "You are what you are and where you are from what has gone into your mind, but you can change what you are and you can change where you are by changing what goes into this beautiful mind." Bye-bye. Where am I at here? Oh, we'll just play this.
Take control of your life. Break the chains and rise. No more feeling powerless. No more shame. Take your power. Break out of the pain. Because it's more than fornication.
Sing it.
More than procreation. It's not just self-stimulation. Sex energy is for creation and transformation into a new destination. Porn Talk. Yeah. Change your heart from dark to light. Porn Talk. Yeah. Break free. Take back your power and rise. I said take back your power. I said take back your power. Take back your power and rise. And rise.
This is Porn Talk.
Bye-bye.